This little pecker of a gap has been taunting me for the last few days. I just ran out of mortar last time, so I couldn't complete the job. So the first job for today, get this filled in. Now it's time to move on to the back and just replicate the exact same thing we did on the front. We had some leftover mortar when I finished the other day, so I quickly whipped round and put it all here on the back wall because the quality of the stonework here on the top isn't as good as it is on the front. So I could definitely foresee some issues of the bricks not wanting to sit properly, so I've just put that extra mortar on, smoothed it all out. That's going to give me a bit of a better bed to start this row off.
The access on this side of the building isn't the best. There's lots of big rocks and also lots of rubble lying around, so we've never actually managed to set up the scaffold. You can just about get a level footing for a ladder, but for bricking up along the gable end, we definitely do need to be able to set up the scaffolding. So I'm going to try and move the rocks out of the way and hopefully not disturb any hibernating snakes in the process. Well, I think that was a useful exercise. I'm glad we're not digging the French drain by hand though, because there were some massive boulders in there. I think boulder might be exaggeration, but they're still pretty big.
Although we're opting for brick over stone because it is just much quicker to do it, still is taking me quite a while because I'm still really new to this. I've only done it for what, 3 or 4 days now in total. But you know, this is a reality of renovating alone without experienced tradespeople to help. Although we want it to be a sprint, it is definitely a marathon. Although we definitely still want to complete the marathon in a good time. This cement mixer needs a very good clean. It's been neglected. I think when we were pouring the ring beam in the summer, it wasn't cleaned out properly one day. Definitely Victoria's doing.
You know better than that. You're on my team, aren't you? Yeah.
So I've just finished up filling behind all the bricks, any voids with like a really sloppy concrete, just to make sure there's no space for creepy crawlies or rodents. And it became evident very quickly that I'd mixed up way too much concrete, really didn't take that much on the back of the building compared to on the front. So Victoria's been busy digging a hole up by the other house, and yeah, a bit more of a domestic job than the normal renovations, but one we've been wanting to do for ages, just we've not found 10 minutes to get on with it. So it's good to put this concrete to use and not have it go to waste. How are we doing?
We're looking good. It's deep.
Nice. Got Harry Potter on.
Always. I don't want to get done by J.K. Rowling.
Professor McGonagall told them that their exams would...
And we'll never know the ending.
Do you want to explain what we're doing?
Yeah, we need to basically dig this big hole so we can stuff the rest of the concrete into for the whirligig. If you don't know what a whirligig is, it's like a rotary air dryer, but in the UK it's called a whirligig. Oh, because it keeps falling over in the soft soil. So a couple of times we've come out and the washing has been on the floor, so just going to try and firm it up. Yeah, I made the hole a bit too wide, I think.
Definitely. Oh, that little spirit level is handy. Any excuse nowadays to bury a bit of unwanted rubble. It's a small job, but I'm glad to have that done because that's been on the back burner for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, and what a transformation. Whilst Ricky's tackling insulating between the rafters, I'm going to carry on my quest to get the land as clean and tidy as possible. I'm planning to have a fire tomorrow because we've got absolutely loads and loads of branches around the land that need burning. But first, I do want to cut off all of the leafy parts because those can burn so much quicker than the really chunky bits of wood. Plus, I actually want to cut those off to use for stakes in the garden, and the biggest pieces of wood we'll keep and use those in the future as our firewood.
That's the back now, insulated between all the rafters, foamed up to fill any gaps just to make sure that's as airtight as we can make it. I was sure this time to wear the plastic gloves that came with it because that foam is the stickiest stuff possible. It absolutely nuked my hands and my clothes, if you can see that. Like, this jumper is just ruined from foam now. I made a bit of a dog's dinner of this job, if I'm being honest, because previously I cut them too tight, and when I was doing the front I kept them to go back and forth to trim them down. So I thought this time I'd just cut them a bit smaller and then obviously just fill the void with the foam. But this time they were just a bit too small that they just wouldn't support themselves, so I really had to put a fair bit of foam in to hold it in place. So yeah, I'll leave that to go off tonight, and then tomorrow morning before I start bricking, I'm gonna have the job of sawing it all off and cleaning it all up. Are you about ready to knock it on the head and we'll give the doggos a run around?
Sounds good.
Copy 8. Good. Tighter. 8. Good. How tight can we go? Oh, this is a squeeze. 8. Yes, clever girl.
Where's she gone?
What are you doing over there? Teddy, come. Hey, good boy. 2 for 1. It is so bitter this morning, the wind is icy. Got 3 layers on, still feel like my nipples are about to burst through. You're gonna need that fire to keep warm, I think.
It's already working. Wood keeps you hot twice. No, it's 3 times, isn't it? Once when you cut it down, once when you process it, and then when it's burning. Yeah, I'm gonna be a smoked sausage by the end of today.
Just finished setting out the corners and then the first bricks on the second row, and I'm about to set out the string line. And I just want to show you this thing because somebody asked me about it on the previous video, so let me just show you. It's very, very simple. So all it is a piece of fencing wire. I think it's 3mm diameter, bent over into 2, then bent at a 90, and then have the string tied to it. And you can just easily either slot it into the hole on the bricks, or you can just put it up to the face and wrap around the edge, and then when you pull it tight across the other side, it just holds perfectly. I just love something just that simple. It just makes life that much easier. It's been a couple of days since we filmed last because it's been an absolute washout here. So here's the finished, bricked up backside of the building. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out, to be honest. It was a bit more challenging than the front side. But now it's time for the big reveal on this week's biggest home renovation project.